Hello everybody, and as promised in the studio today we have a couple of wonderful guests. On my right hand side is the lovely Mr. Vic King.
Hello.
And on my left hand side, some old tramp we found down the pub. No, not really, it's Mr. Brian Barr.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Good evening. I mean, good day.
Good evening.
Good evening, Michael.
Whatever time it is, wherever you're watching from. Great. So first off, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that sent questions. I just put this little post on saying that Brian was coming up and Vic was coming up. Did anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? And the response was just overwhelming. So thank you very much for taking the time to post your questions. We've had some great ones. So what do you want to do? Should we get straight into it, or...?
Fire away, Michael.
Cup of tea first?
Cup of tea? Yeah, quick cup of tea and then we'll be back. No, right, here we go. Yeah. So, first question. So, Denise Howes asks, is Kate's speaking voice really that quiet and little girly? Her singing belies it. Did she ever shout or swear? Well, I guess you can both answer that one.
Well, from my memory, an 18-year-old girl did have a soft, quiet voice. She didn't swear at the time or even shout. Really? Very polite, ex-convent girl.
Yeah.
Just wonderful. What they are like today, no idea.
Lovely,
over to Brian.
Voice. It's got a lovely voice. Kate's got a lovely voice.
Lovely voice.
Speaking voice, yeah.
Yeah, you have similar memories of Kate's speaking voice, just nice, soft, gentle.
Very soft.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, no shouting from the rooftops.
Makes lots of tea.
Yes, makes lots of tea. Really.
Going forward with making tea.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So lots of tea. That's good news. Okay, on to a question from Jem Simpson. I think it's Jem Simpson. There's some names in. I'm not very good at reading and all that stuff. So if I get some of your names wrong, I do apologise. But question from Jem Simpson: how does Kate find musicians that are as passionate about her work and who genuinely understand it?
Well, they're queuing up, aren't they? Really?
Well, I guess they are now. Yeah. But back in the day, how did she find you guys, for example? How did you...
found out through a brother. Really, I got to know Paddy.
Yeah.
Brother Paddy, and when she first formed, they wanted to form a band. So then I got in touch with Vic and Del.
Yeah. Del Palmer.
It was the old school band. Yeah, Del Palmer, and I went round his house and. And then we went up to see Vic, and then we just got the whole band back together because we haven't played together for some time.
No,
a couple of years or
we've played years. Whitechapel Art Gallery in London, 2 years running, and the second time was with when.
Was it the bun fight the first time?
The bun fight was the first time.
There was a bun fight,
and the second time was when Paddy dressed up as a gigantic cello or double bass.
Double bass, yeah.
And they were dancing on stage. Two of them, and Kate was in the audience.
It was instead of the dueling banjos, it was the dueling basses.
Great big foam ones.
Two bass guitars playing live with two bass costumes with Paddy and Andrew. Was it Andrew? Was it?
Yeah. And then we played a set of 45 minutes worth of cover songs, and Kate was in the audience.
And
then came up and said, "Well, I'd love to play with
Barry
you guys."
Was there, wasn't he?
Barry was on bass. Love to play with you guys. How do I do it? So
great.
I said, learn 10 songs and give us a call. Not expecting anything, but the next morning, phone rings. Kate here, in a very soft-spoken voice.
Yeah, not swearing at all.
Not swearing or shouting. I've learned 10 songs.
Very civilised.
When can we get together? So I rang Brian and said, anytime. So we got Greenwich swimming baths, the boiler room. Next to the boiler room, tiny little room.
Salubrious location.
It was cold, wasn't it?
Not in the boiler room, it was, but cold outside.
Yeah.
So we just learned a bunch of songs, soul songs, rock songs.
Excuse me.
And then from
I couldn't believe she could learn I remember saying to her, "Can you come together the words?"
Yeah.
I thought it was impossible.
Yeah.
I think I could learn that.
Yeah.
But she did. She learned them all. Yeah.
Wow.
Sweet soul music and some Stones and then she said, do you mind if we do the next one at my place? So we said, okay, have you got a room, a studio? And we went up there.
We used to call it the barn, didn't we? Yeah.
Brian went up there.
Yeah.
Derelict barn.
That was cold.
And then there was a farmhouse with a barn in the garden.
There was a big, a log or a tree or something. I remember sitting on this tree, an old tree, that was inside this barn, and we had a fire going.
Yeah, we lit a fire.
It was pretty cold in there, really. Yeah. We had my PA, didn't we? My PA that my brother Alan bought for us.
Set up in February, and just learnt more songs.
I've still got the amp, still got the PA amp. The H&H, it was.
I've still got the monitor.
Cambridge, yeah, you got the
HH monitor.
That was Kate's monitor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kate's monitor.
Because I gave you the manual, didn't I? A couple of years ago.
I got the manual as well.
Found it.
You've got
So
everything.
very humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
Great. So thanks, Jem, for that question. Great question from Paula Brennan now. She asks, was Kate open to creative input? And so this is obviously once she'd written a few songs. Was she open to creative input and changes from yourselves and others?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, whatever you could add, anything you could add would be better than nothing plain. You know, you'd play something along. I wouldn't say he was going through the motions, but you try and come up with something fairly interesting.
If she sat at a piano and just played the melody or what she had written, and there's an empty canvas. So how do you feel it?
Yeah.
Drum patterns come to mind, certain things trigger you. Guitar patterns come to mind, and the bass plays the bass between the guitar and the drums, and then Kate, and it starts to gel. Yeah. Sometimes it just flows together, like James did.
Because these were the days before all these special effects and stuff for the guitar. I think I had what did I have? I don't think I had anything. I don't think I had any effects at all. I just had the Fender amp with a reverb. That was it, really.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a great deal of choice for sound, you know.
But we used to practice in a front room on the grand piano.
Wow, yeah,
and I took my drums in front of the fireplace, and then you had the amp and Dal had his.
Oh, when we were just in the house sometimes.
Because it was warmer.
There was all rugs, weren't there? Like lion rugs and tiger rugs on the floor,
all over the place.
With heads on them. Very strange.
And the parents used to come in with cake and tea all the time.
Great.
Lovely.
Yeah. So that leads us on nicely to the next question, which is from Peter Blight, which is, Kate's vision for a song is always very clear. How did she relay exactly how she wanted it played to other musicians, particularly those whose instruments she doesn't play? So we kind of covered that with the last one.
Kind of did,
so she really let you be yourself, and she didn't go, I want boom chop. You could come up with your own parts. And
usually
she knew what she wanted,
think of something.
You know, drum patterns and guitar sections.
Because she's an amazing pianist. I mean, she could just play anything. So, how about playing this bit, you know? Or what was that bit you played? And you'd maybe double up or so on it.
Did she read music? Was she formally trained? Or
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she was trained. And I thought her dad showed her everything because he was a really good pianist as well. Her dad was terrific.
Great.
Yeah.
So thank you, Peter, for that question. Next question from Nancy Robinson. What is your favourite Kate Bush song and why? Let's start with Brian.
Oh, too many. I couldn't even make a top 10 up, Mark. Because there's just too many.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll come up with a top 30.
Yeah, it was such a high quality output.
Yeah, I can't really answer that, really. Some of them, I mean, some of the songs that we did earlier on, they weren't even used. Some of them. There were some great little songs that we used to mess around with, but they didn't end up on albums. So there was quite a lot that she wasn't, that she didn't use.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if she dug around and had a look for them.
Because
they had that flavour of the time, you see.
Yeah.
Although Kate was writing in the 70s, I suppose, then, when she was very young. But she had masses of songs, tons of them.
And influenced by her brother's music choice.
Yeah.
And then you think that, so we say, have you listened to this?
Like if you go back to the Kick Inside album, it'll be that flavour.
Right.
It'll be quite rife there.
Yeah. What about you, Vic? Have you got a favourite?
Well, my favourite, James and the Cold Gun.
Yeah. Great song.
We're in the studio at Delane Lee, and the song stopped, and I felt it could go on, but how? And there was just a lull, and so I decided to drum at half tempo, and then Brian quickly caught on.
Just so I used two of the chords.
Yeah.
Two of the chords,
yeah. And then you could let rip with a guitar solo.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't one in the
I think you said to me, do a solo.
Yeah. As you do. At any time. And so we recorded that. It wasn't on the album. The Fade Out was on the album. Yeah. But on the Tour of Life that Brian did, it continued with a lot more dramatics and theatricals, with Kate dressed up as a cowgirl and with the gun.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was theatrical, which I loved doing. So that's my favourite.
I think things like possibly Symphony in Blue is a lovely, beautiful song.
That's an amazing song.
That's a lovely song. And the obviously The Man with a Child was one of the first things I ever heard that she recorded. That was one of the first she
wrote, wasn't it? She was
one of the first,
really
I think.
She wrote
I think she recorded it when she was 15.
Yeah,
and it's live.
To write
Christ's sake.
something like that when you're 15 is incredible.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. So thank you, Nancy, for that question. Mark Baker asks, when did you last see Kate?
Well, sadly, I last saw her at father's funeral.
Right.
Yeah. So I haven't seen her since. I called her when she was doing the last shows.
Yeah, the Before the Dawn.
I couldn't get through.
She was
to her.
very, very
No.
busy.
Yeah, I can
Still
imagine.
has been.
I can imagine.
She has been
So I
non-stop.
wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mark. Question from Johnny Bean. So we've probably answered this one as well now. After the success of the Before the Dawn shows, do you think she wished she'd done similar short-run live performances earlier in her career? So obviously you haven't seen her since then. But did she ever say back in the day that did she just want to do one big tour, or would you think she'd?
Well, I
have done
thought she was
smaller
going
gigs,
to. I thought we were going to tour forever. When we came off
Yeah.
the tour, we was all sitting around and making videos and recording songs, which was great. But all of a sudden, the input had just slowed down,
Right.
and there wasn't a lot going on. And I remember going to the farm one day, and we all met up there, and I said, "When are you going to tour again, Kate?" And she went, "Oh, 3 years." I said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to art college." So I went to art school, and she didn't tour again.
No. Yeah, well, until fairly recently, obviously, there's quite a gap between 35 years from one gig to the next.
Not half,
Is quite a gap. Okay, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name, Henrik, so I'm just going to say Henrik.
I must say, I believe that she should have gigged more, really.
Yeah, I think
There you go,
yeah, I
because
think
she's got so much to offer on the stage.
exactly. Yeah, just such a great show, and so like you say, such a vast
Yeah,
catalogue.
even just
of
her
amazing-
sitting at the piano is just wonderful to hear
Yeah.
and watch. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Sorry, the other
That's
name?
all right. Sorry.
Henrik.
So yeah, Henrik
Not
asks.
Gustafsson, Speedway rider. No.
Not that one. No. What is your most memorable experience of being part of Kate's ensemble and the funniest Kate memory? Who'd like to go?
I think one
Who'd
of
like
my
to go
favourite ones. I don't know if you read the book. Did any?
Which
person
book?
about-
Graham
Yeah,
Thompson's book.
The Thompson book.
Graham
The Thompson.
The
Thompson.
bit I told him about the bit when when Kate told me that she was walking down a road and there was someone waving to her at the window, going like this. And Kate thought she was waving at me, and she went over. She started doing that. She was walking down the road, and when she got up to the house, the woman was actually cleaning her windows. It's great, isn't it?
That's great.
It's great. Maybe that's where she got the waving bit from Wuthering Heights. You know, she's actually cleaning windows.
Yeah, that's where
When
the
I'm
inspiration
cleaning
came
windows.
from.
That
When
was
I'm
funny.
cleaning
But
windows.
Kate was always funny. It was always hilarious. It was always been,
Yeah, always having a laugh and a joke.
I remember doing a song with her in the studio, and I was chosen to sing the harmony with her. And I just started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. In the end, she had to tell me to shut up and get on with it.
It hasn't
it.
changed over all these
Tears
years.
coming out my eyes. It was up on the floor, rolling up. You know, so funny.
And my one was at when we did a pub at Putney called the Railway Tavern
Yeah.
on the day that England played Scotland at Wembley at football, when Scotland beat us. And in the evening, the pub started filling up with all these Scottish people, very merry, very high. And as we went on stage, they all crowded towards the stage. And as the evening went on, they got closer and closer. And then they were on stage throwing whiskey bottles at everyone.
Yeah.
We had Rob and Lisa, who set the smoke machine, which was dry ice in those days.
Yeah.
And it was either on or it was off, and it was on big time, and the whole stage filled up with smoke. No one could see anything. We're in the middle of a song, and then suddenly I remember the fire alarm going off because someone thought there was a fire. There was pandemonium, but we continued playing.
Carried on playing. The
That
show
was
must go on.
What's
fantastic.
that one?
Brilliant.
I just thought, what's that one I think of? Oh yeah, I went down her place when she lived down in the country. She moved to Kent at one stage.
Right.
And I went down there and she said, anyone fancy a cup of tea? I go, yeah, great, Kate. She's always making tea. She disappeared. She said, I'll just put the kettle on. So she went out the room, and a couple of minutes later, she come back in and she had this enormous soft kettle, like a hat, on her head. She said, I've just put the kettle on. Yeah. She had it made especially for that.
Just for
that, yeah. It's great.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And the dummy, there was a ventriloquist dummy. Oh, that was so funny.
Okay, where are we? So that was. Oh, we've got another question from Henrik, and this one starts with oh. So he obviously is excited about this one. And please ask if you ever had the opportunity to listen to the song "Never Forever," which was meant to be the title track of the Never Forever album, but was scrapped? And if you did, what was it like in style or tempo?
Oh, it was great. It was like a bluesy kind of thing. It was. I think it was in C minor as well.
Right.
I remember it was a lovely song. Yeah. Because they're just a great pair of words, aren't they? Just put together
never forever.
It's just great. I was going to nick the title and write my own song around it because I didn't think she'd ever use it.
Yeah.
She did use it as an album track. The name of the album in the end, which was a great album.
Yeah, it's funny that that she should
Possibly
use
my
that as a name for
favourite.
the album, but sort of ditch the song. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be nice to hear that song. Yeah, again.
Yeah. If anyone's
I
got
can
that in the
remember it a bit.
archives, then we'd love to hear that. Pamela Kelly Essam asks, was that you on Morning Fog? I see you on the Morning Fog video.
I don't think so. No, in the video.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No. Because there's some clips. Yeah, I think there are some sort of clips from back in the 70s.
You'd have to
Been
show
in
me.
many
Maybe I've
foggy
been pasted
videos.
in.
You have been in many foggy videos.
Yeah, I've
Yes,
been in a
he
lot of foggy videos.
Extra fog for Brian,
Extra
please.
fog for Brian. Fog for Mr. Bath.
Yeah.
Because you always tell us one of the great stories of when you were just down the road in Epping
In
Forest
Bre-
and
in
you were
breathing.
coming out. You had all had to get in a lake.
Oh, yeah, the
in
lake,
in the
yeah.
breathing video.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was mad, wasn't it? Yeah. It was freezing. We had wetsuits or dry suits,
Right.
and and then a boiler fallout suit type of thing. And we just walked into the lake,
Into the water.
load of us, and we had to duck under the water and come out. But her and Roy Harper, they didn't want to get their hair wet, so they didn't go under the water. It wouldn't look good for the video.
Wouldn't look good for the video.
But I couldn't even swim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was standing next to Paddy, and he said, "Reach out if you're having trouble." So I went onto the water. I was sort of floating around a bit, and then we all come up. But I managed to do it okay.
Brilliant. Right, another one from Jem Simpson. In your professional opinion, is there any other artist that you've performed with or are aware of that you believe is comparable to Kate's style of music? Any up and comings we should keep an ear out for? I don't think there's anyone comparable.
No, she's a one-off.
Yeah.
I heard a band the other day, and I won't go into that. Sorry, I'll stop that. Go on. Sorry, anyone that could pair with her? No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
really.
there isn't really, is there?
But Kate's got so many voices. You see, she hasn't just got one voice; she's got loads of voices. I still don't think she's used them all on her record.
Really?
Well, she has used a hell of a lot, hasn't she? I mean, you can't get more original than Kate's backing vocals for a start.
Yeah.
They are so unique, aren't they? I think she invented a whole new way of backing vocal, performances. Really, herself.
Yeah. And to do your own backing vocals as well. That was a revolutionary thing back in the day. No one had really done that before.
I guess
because the technology wasn't there to do it. I guess.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we were still using tape then. It was like 2-inch tape, machines, Studers or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And then you had the MagLink came along where you could link up two.
Yeah, connect.
Well, you
the two
know
together.
this, don't you? Yeah, you link up two together. I remember being in Abbey Road and we run out of tracks. Next day you turn up and there's another multi-track machine and they're all linked up.
Synced up
There's
to
two machines going with 48 tracks. It was like, what? Because then you could record everything in stereo as well because you had more tracks, didn't you, to go around, I guess.
Yeah. The technology really kind of rocketed off then.
And we'd all sit in the control room. If someone was doing a guitar part or an overdub, I remember the Babushka one where Murphy was doing a whack whack, the laughing guitar that's in it, that one. He was out there fiddling around with this Dimension D or something like that,
Right.
trying to get this thing right, and just hitting the chord. It was just complete luck. And as the track was going through, you record him, no, that's no good. And when the one comes, "Yay!" we all in the studio cheering, it'd like be a celebration when something was actually put down that really worked.
Really
So it was really exciting. Yeah.
Great.
The vibes and that were brilliant.
Yeah. Talking about the recording, Simon Roberts asks, is Kate working on a new album?
Always. Kate's always working on a new album.
Always.
Always making an album.
Yeah. So
Always writing
I
songs.
should say.
yes.
Why should she suddenly stop?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And they'll only be released when they're good enough in Kate's eyes.
Yeah. When she's happy with the.
Yeah.
This is ready to go out.
Yeah.
I mean, she may not. Maybe she stopped, but I don't think so. I think she's always making an album. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's obviously if you've got that amount of magic in you, it can't just suddenly turn off. One day, I wouldn't.
No.
When working up a song with fellow musicians, does she ever refer to other songs? For example, the dynamics on this song or the way the chorus blends in this song. So did she refer
Who's
to
that
sort of
from?
other materials? That was from Jocelyn. I'm not going to try
Jocelyn
and pronounce her
Jocelyn.
surname.
Jocelyn.
That's
I'll
interesting, having
embarrass
two names the same. Jocelyn Jocelyn.
She's so good. They named her twice.
myself. I've named her twice.
And what?
yes.
Sorry, was the question again?
She's
I was
Jocelyn
wondering
for
who she
first
was
place.
Okay.
Sorry, the
Very
question
good.
again, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, the question was, when working up a song with fellow musicians, does she ever refer to other songs? So, for example, would she ever say to you,
Yeah.
can you make the chorus sound a bit like the guitar in this Hendrix tune?
I remember when we did
something like
the wedding list, when we did that one, and it was Enrico Morricone.
Enrico Morricone.
Morricone, that's
Yeah.
it. The guy from Spaghetti
the
Western.
Spaghetti
The
Western.
idea was to have it sounding like a spaghetti western.
Right.
So it was all cowboy time, everyone was a cowboy in the studio. Yeah, and all that. But I remember she played that. She said, I want it to sort of have this thing. But of course, it ended up nothing like that. But the idea started from one of those, that
With the
thing,
harmonica.
the whistling bit.
The harmonica sound type.
All that bit. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
yeah.
vibe, if you call it. It was
Right.
that was what we were going for. But obviously, it's went somewhere completely.
Then
different.
it takes its own life and goes.
So
in a different
there
direction.
were reference points on a lot of songs. Or do you remember that sound that was used in such and such?
Steely Dan, she used to
Steely Dan
reference.
Yeah.
And obviously Beatles.
Yeah. Not as it's easier now, isn't it? Because you just think of something, it's there in seconds, but then you had to go and find the things.
There were no
didn't you,
sounds until the mighty keyboard came along with everything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the
Fairlights
internet.
and
Fairlight.
The Yamahas and
I think she had the first one or second one.
Yeah.
Or even an image. An image would be enough to conjure up a part piece, a vocal piece. Films. She didn't just doesn't stick to just sounding vaguely like a record. It could be anything, which I think is quite normal for most people, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Inspiration.
Yeah.